Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to be looking at my three-step program to product research validation. Now, this is a question that was proposed in one of my Amazon groups. I believe it was one of my free Amazon groups as well. Really great question as to how do you actually analyze the product research, the screenshots on Jungle Scout. Should be a really cool video. Make sure you are subscribed with the notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. Alright guys, hopefully you can see the screen properly. Now, I'm in a different location, I know, because the room behind me very, very dark, and it looked a bit silly. Now, there are also kids playing outside. I really don't like, if you're watching kids, I really don't like you. You're very loud and annoying. If you can hear them, you'll understand what I mean. But hopefully you like this video, guys. If you do, make sure you smash the like button. Any questions, just leave them down below throughout the video. Now, my three-step product research validation method. Now, people always ask me, like, how do you decide if a product's good or bad, or what is my decision on a product? How do I make that? So I'm going to go through them today, just so you can kind of use this for yourselves when you're trying to, think of products to sell on Amazon. If it's going to be a good idea, if there's going to be too much competition, or whatever. Like, let's just go through them. So I bring this down to three separate areas: metrics, and listings, and profit. So these are really the three things that I look at initially to find out if a product's worth looking at in more detail and spending time actually negotiating with suppliers. Can you actually hear them? They're shouting. They're so loud. Metrics, listings, and profit. So let's go into the first one. We're going to be pretty snappy with this video. It should be quite a good one. So metrics, we look at, first of all, sales. So obviously I'm going to go into these in a second, but sales first. The main thing that you need from a private label, from an Amazon FBA product, you need sales velocity. So when you're looking at like the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and some of them have 100 sales and 200 sales or 50 sales, there's not enough sales in the market for you to enter as a new seller and capture a large piece of the pie. You want to be looking at sales first. Sales is the most important thing. If there's competition in the market, there's ways to get around it. If there's no volume in the market, unfortunately, your product's not going to sell. Sales is the most important thing, but you're looking for even amount of sales. You're not looking for some with 1,000, some with 0. You would rather have them all at 300 rather than have them all over the place. Because if you wait until the end, I'm going to show you the bonus tip that I actually use. And that is often why one person has like 1,000 sales a month and other people have 200. There's a reason why that happens, and you need to be aware of why that is, because you can kind of be blindsided if you don't understand what that is. So you want to make sure your sales, they're even, they're good, they're strong. Sales velocity, super important. That is the first thing you should be doing. Everything else comes after. So if at that point you're like, not too sure, get rid of the product, start on the next one. Sales is the most important. You then need to look at the price versus the sales, because if you're doing 300 units a month, but the product is £4, you're making, it's not really a lot of money, and you're not going to ever make a huge amount of money from it, because there's going to be a lot of costs incurred with selling on Amazon. So you need to make sure the price is a point where if you sell the average amount, or the below average amount of sales, you're still going to be making enough to make it worth your while. So if the price is very small, you're going to be looking for higher sales. If the price is very high, which meaning basically you can normally get a higher profit margin or higher profit value, then you'll be okay with the sales are a little bit less, because you're making more per unit. So price versus sales is super important. Make sure it's in that Goldilocks zone where you can be making, £500,000 a month profit. Especially for your first product, you're never going to, for your first product, you're never going to find something that's like a home run product, okay? Because you might not have the investment to be able to enter those sorts of markets with very, very high sales. So just make sure that you don't delude yourself. Look at the price versus the sales as well. You then need to look at FBA versus FBM versus AMZ. Now, what do these mean? If you look on Jungle Scout on the right-hand side, when you open up the Chrome extension, you'll say if it's fulfilled by Amazon, so FBA, if it's fulfilled by merchant, FBM, or fulfilled by Amazon, AMZ. So if it's fulfilled by FBA, that means there's lots of other people that send their products into Amazon, which means basically that Amazon, they can store it, they can sell it, it's not too big, all that sort of stuff. When you normally see fulfilled by merchant, either there's low demand, so it's not worth them keeping them in the Amazon warehouses, or they might be oversized, so they might not be standard size products, which means that the FBA fees get very, very large, so it's not worthwhile for people to do that. Or it's a dangerous or hazardous product, which means it's actually hard for you to get it into the Amazon warehouse. So if there's a lot of people that are FBM, then I would find out why that is. Is the product weight, the actual size, does it go over the standard size for FBA? That's probably most of the time it's going to be the case. If it's dangerous or anything like that, then again, you don't really want to get into it. Anyway, if there's loads of Amazon sellers in it, so that's basically Amazon are now selling that product directly, again, it's going to be a little bit harder. They'll probably be getting a very good price. If there's quite a few, then I would stay away from that market. If there's a few in there's like 1 or 2 or 3, don't really worry about that. But if there's like 5, then yeah, just stay away from it. It'll be quite competitive. You then look at competition in terms of reviews. Now, there are other things we're going to look at in terms of competition. So this isn't the only thing you look at, but if your product ticks all these boxes, you move on to the next stage. If it doesn't tick all these boxes, then it's going to be a little bit harder to move on to the next stage. Competition. So you want the reviews, okay? Now, why reviews? If all of them have thousands of reviews, you are never going to stand out as a seller. People are always going to go with it's like the law of consensus. If loads of other people like it, it's like social proof. If loads of other people like it, I must like it as well. So you need to look at the number of reviews. You want to keep that low. You want to be basically under 100 for most of the sellers. If most of them are under 100, you're in a good space. If a few of them are over 100, we don't really worry about them, but don't, again, delude yourself to think that you're going to be able to compete with them, because they're going to be getting the most amount of sales. They'll be near the top of the listings. They'll probably have the best price for their product. But what you're about to find out is they may not have the best product or the best listing. So make sure your competition is fairly low. Don't be worried if there are a few sellers that are over 100 reviews, or there's over 200 reviews. That's okay, because just bear in mind they may not be your direct competition. Or you may be able to get around that fact by having a slightly different product. So you need to then look at the listing. So if at this point you're like, okay, this product is potentially possible. Okay, this is why I always say to people, like, what do you think about this the Jungle Scout screenshots? I'm like, well, on face value, on the numbers value, it looks good, it looks rubbish, it looks great. However, you need to look at these things. So you need to look at the top 5 to 10 listings, okay? And those are the ones you're really going to analyze. These are the people getting the biggest portion of sales. You need to find out what they're doing well and what they're doing badly, because when a customer goes onto Amazon, these are the guys that they're looking at, okay? They're scrolling through and they're looking at the pictures, the titles, and they're going to click on one of those people and hopefully buy their product. They're your competition. You need to be looking at images. So be a consumer. Scroll through the first page, 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 sellers. Which listing do you want to click on? Look at their pictures. Look at every single one of every single every single seller's listings, and analyze their product pictures. Are they using all of them? There's the ability to use 2 extra photos. If you click one of the photos, you actually have the option to view 2 more. Guys might not have known that. Might not have known that. So are they using the pictures to the full potential? Are they operating within Amazon terms of service? Have their first picture on a white background. Just analyze what they are doing, and if they're doing well, is it because of their pictures? And if they're doing well not because of their pictures, then that's a tick. You can improve on that. So you want to be able to improve on your pictures on the top sellers, okay? So that's one thing you want to look at. How are their pictures? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they rubbish? Or are they good, medium, or bad? So you can rank maybe each one of those sellers between good, middle, or bad. You then want to look at the amount of reviews they've got, and of course the type of review, the quality of the review. Is it 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star? What is going on? Don't know. I can hear a cat. What type of reviews are they getting? If they're getting loads of bad reviews, you need to read those reviews, write them down maybe into a spreadsheet, and categorize them by why it is. Is it quality of product? Is it delivery? Is it they're breaking? Is it doesn't come with all the parts? So just think about and look and analyze the reviews. And what you want to do is then you can approach your suppliers later on and make sure that your product does not have those same issues, or you as a company, you as a brand, don't have those same issues. So analyze the reviews. Don't just look at 100 reviews or 50 reviews or 13 reviews and think, it's good. You need to actually read the reviews and spend time analyzing why people get good reviews and why people get bad reviews. You want to make sure that you replicate the good stuff and you fix the bad stuff for your product. So reviews is a big one. You then need to look at the actual listings, so descriptions. What you'll find is some top sellers, they have terrible listings. If they're in a more competitive niche, they normally have bad listings because they've been doing it for so long, which is why they're the best seller, or they're the top sellers. So look at the listings. Do they have their bullet points? Are they looking at features and benefits? Are they using bold and underline and all that sort of stuff in their listing? Are they brand registered so they have pictures within their description? So all of these things are going into your product validation, okay? So this is the second step, is you're looking at a competition more in depth. So this is after you've assessed that actually they tick the box of they have enough sales, there's lowish competition, all that sort of stuff. You're then going on to actually analyzing the actual sellers that sell. The reason why you wouldn't jump to this straight away is because if you do, it's a lot of work to do, and if the sales aren't there, there's no point doing it. Okay, so that's the second lot of stuff. Third thing, okay, nearly the third and final thing, but I've got a little bonus for you, is profit. Okay, so once you've worked out that, hey, this is a good product, like there's ability to differentiate from the bad reviews, so I can make my product better. There's the ability to be better in terms of the images and the photos and stuff like that I use. I can make my bullet points and my listing better, and I can bundle it with this certain product. Then you're like, all right, cool, all right, this is good. The next thing you need to do before you get carried away is you need to go out quickly and get quotes. Contact loads of suppliers, okay? Contact lots of suppliers, get some quotes, because you need to act with urgency on this stage. If you've assessed it's a good product, don't wait. Don't wait around and think, oh, okay, I'm going to do it like maybe next week, I'm going to go do that. Get some quotes immediately, because they're going to take a couple of days to come in, and start speaking with suppliers so you understand the rough cost of that product. Not the final cost, the rough cost. Once you find out the rough figure, you can then work out again as an estimate how much your customs duty, your VAT, your landed cost would be, and then you can start to calculate, right? You can calculate how much your product is going to cost, and you can calculate your FBA fee. So all you have to do is go to search in Google FBA calculator. It's going to bring up Seller Central, and then what you can do is just type in the selling price, so the average selling price, or a selling price of your product. You can type in the cost. So after you've calculated your cost, put that in there. It's going to tell you your profit. Okay, so how many pounds percentage profit you've got. You then need to account in your marketing costs. You got that figure? You're going to spend money on marketing, and this really depends on how much money you have up front. If you don't have any money up front after you spent money on your stock, you need to make sure you account for that as part of your margin. If you have a little bit of money to launch your product, then again, it's a little bit different, but just make sure that you are aware that it's going to cost money to launch your product. It's going to cost money to sell your product. It just is. It's not going to go on Amazon and it's going to magically sell itself. You need to spend some money on marketing. So with marketing, with PPC, for example, if the products are super low price, you're going to spend less money on PPC because people have less money to spend out of their profit margin. If it's a higher price product, again, people have more money in terms of pennies and pounds to spend on marketing because there's normally a higher profit margin, not maybe a high profit margin, a higher profit value. So rather than making £3 profit, people are making like 10, 15 pounds profit, which means they can spend £5, per unit on PPC. So it's a little bit different, but you need to account for marketing costs, and that's up to you if you want to break even for your first product for launching it, or if you want to make profit. These things are going to be completely down to you, but you need to think about how much you're going to spend on marketing. That is down to you. I can't tell you what that's going to be, okay? And ultimately, you're never going to know until you actually do it, especially with Amazon PPC. You don't know what other people are bidding for their keywords. So it's very, very hard to say, but overestimate it, definitely overestimate it. Then once you've got all of this information together, you're going to analyze. You're going to go back to your listings and you're going to say, okay, well, if I have this product with this bundle and here's my pictures, which are going to cost this much, this is how much money I can make. This is how I can launch my product. And if there's still profit margin, it's a good profit margin, you might think, okay, can I add any other products? Can I put a more high quality box in there? Can I do an ebook as like a bundled follow-up? So you're going to analyze everything you've put together and actually make more of a buying decision on it. At that point, you can continue to negotiate with your suppliers to really get a price down as best price as you can with the best bundle, the best quality, and then get them sent into Amazon, and you can start your launch campaign. So that's really at the point where you need to start putting the work in and getting pictures, getting logos done, and if you don't have a company, set up your company, get the bank account done, and just act with urgency at that stage. So I do have a little bonus for you, and I said earlier about the sales, right? If one of the sellers has a huge amount of sales and the other ones don't have as much, you need to look into what third-party sales they're getting. So on what other platforms are those people driving sales? So quite often you could just take their business name, their store name, put it into Google and see if they have like a store, like a Shopify store or an eBay store or anything like that, Etsy store, because if there is a seller that has a huge amount more sales than other people, they will be driving sales off of Amazon. And quite often people will do this with Shopify. So what you can do on Shopify is you can integrate a fulfillment service. So what happens is that someone buys on Shopify, and then automatically that product will be fulfilled from Amazon to that customer's door, so you can actually retain that customer as your own customer rather than be Amazon's customer, which is a good idea, but obviously again it costs a little bit more. You've got to get the traffic in your own way through like influencers or Facebook ads or YouTube ads or whatever, however you do it. So probably they're getting third-party sales, and if they're not, if there's nothing out there, then it's a little bit of a mystery. Maybe they just have an incredible listing and they have really good reviews. They've got a great brand. And that's the point where you can go, okay, I need to replicate what they're doing. If you have the ability to go into a third-party sales platform like Shopify, like eBay, so drive people from eBay, sell it on eBay and then fulfill for Amazon, then do that. But of course, it takes more time, it takes a little bit of money to set that up. And if you've got the time, if you've got the money, then yeah, go ahead and do that. Use social media to your advantage, use other sales platforms to your advantage, because it will help. And the important thing is that it's going to help your sales velocity on Amazon so you can rank quicker and you can maintain rank as well. A little bonus for you guys. So just to recap those, the first is metrics, which is the sales is the most important thing. You will then want to look at the price versus the sales, if it's going to be actually worth your while. Find out and just look if it's mostly FBA sellers, which is a nice little tick. If it's mostly FBM, you've got to look into it a little bit more. If it's mostly Amazon, just stay away from it. Analyze the competition on face values just to make sure you're not going to go into a super competitive market which you can't afford. Then you're going to go on to the listings. Okay, make sure that once you've said, hey, this is a potentially good product, start looking at the listings. Look at the first 5 to 10 or even the first page or 2 pages, whatever you've got time for. Look at the images, make sure the reviews are good and bad, so that you're going to improve on the stuff that's bad and keep the stuff that's good. Make sure you improve on the images when you can, and obviously check out the whole of the listing, like the bullet points, like the descriptions, and note down what people do badly and what people do well. Make sure you copy what they do well, not word for word, of course, but and don't do what they do badly. Okay. Third thing is profit. You need to make sure that you get quotes nice and quickly, so act with urgency on this stage. Get quotes because you don't want to spend time negotiating with supplier if there's just not going to be enough profit. You're never going to get a huge discount from suppliers. So if it's just like, wow, this is expensive, just move on from the product, maybe come back to it another time, or don't come back to it at all. But don't waste your time negotiating on a product that you're never actually going to go and sell. It's not worth your time. You're then going to use the FBA calculator to work out how much profit you're going to get, then work out any marketing costs, how much you want to spend on your launch, and again, make sure it's going to be profitable for you. Or if you don't want to make profit, you want to break even, make sure that you break even. And then the last thing is you're going to take everything, all this information you've got, and you're going to analyze, is this a good business decision for me to make? If it is, you're going to then negotiate even more, get your price sorted, get everything sorted so you can actually sell your product, put it on Amazon, and hopefully make loads of passive income for the next, 5 years. Let's just go with 5 years. Who knows? I'll put it out there. 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. As long as Amazon's around. Bonus little point, remember, was just check for third-party sales, third-party sales platforms to see if those companies that have huge amount of sales, if they're driving traffic from other platforms. And hopefully that makes sense, guys. If you have liked this video, just make sure you give that a little thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. If you want to join my free Amazon FBA Facebook group, all you have to do is go down to the description. There is a link for that. Just request access and we'll get you joined into that group. We've got like 3,000, maybe 3,500 people in there at the moment, which is wicked. Nice little community of people. Last thing is you've got the link in the description for my Amazon FBA UK course. I've updated the sales page with some testimonials, little video, like some students' results and things like that. So go ahead and check that out. And if you want to know a little bit more, you can obviously reach out to me, email me, info@jonnybradley.com. All right, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this. Again, make sure you're subscribed with your notifications turned on, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.